So I have decided to try and emulate Ayumi, I think that's it today. And I'm also wearing like a top that I thought reminded me of Haruka. Still remembering these names, but here's who we're going to be playing after today. So I'm trying to get the good ending the first try. We'll see if we manage it. And then I'm also going to see if I can get, there's a bad ending here, and I haven't got it yet. So I'm going to see if I can figure that one out. I'm also curious if that gray means there's a cutscene I could have got, but every day is like the first day I've played this. It's beautiful, beautiful person. Is this it? Maybe vectors? Oh no. Suddenly I gave voice to a thought that was running around my mind. Kaiju, they're strong. Maybe the strength is the sign they deserve this world more than humans do. Before I knew it, the girl was before me. Her demeanor shifted when she heard the answer. That's what you think? Yeah. In that case, come with me. Ooh, huh? Before I could process what she meant, she grabbed me by the arm, and the two of us leapt into the air. I guess I didn't think about this being a cutscene. And then I have no idea how this could came to pass. All I know is that the world now belongs to Kaiju. It was all over in a blink of an eye, and a new world was born. Stunned, all I could do was silently gaze down at the flocks of Kaiju below as a beautiful Moravia smiled before me. She doesn't sound mad. She seems fine with that ending. Oh, that's hilarious. Is it bad if she's happy? I don't think so. Okay. So I want to test going up here again, and then that one. Oh no, did I really never save it? Okay. My bad. I totally messed up the first time I played this game. I just wasn't even thinking. This one says justice. I don't. Oh, here we go. Common roots. This is. Let's see, I think this is it. I'm gonna try because I'm just trying to see what happens a little bit. I'm worried about Liz, so let's see. I have to find her as soon as possible. Does it happen? Never mind, I guess. Oh well. Do nothing. I can't do it. I turned from the Kaiju, wished I could avoid making any decision at all. Turns out I shouldn't have done that. Haruka shouted in the next moment. Huh? A dull impact hit me and I fell to the ground. My stomach, it burns. I hesitantly moved my hands over my stomach and felt the sickness of blood. The Kaiju must have attacked me. The second I thought that, a blow landed on my head. Darkness clouded my consciousness, and the last thing I saw was the Kaiju looking terribly sad. It looks sad. It has emotion. Oh, no, that means you killed your friend. Oh, okay. Let's check out the things. Okay, so we got that bad ending. Got this bad ending. There's just a cutscene I didn't get. Is that what that means? No. My friend is dying. Okay. I guess what disappoints me on this route is she dies no matter what. So the only way to save your friend is to be evil. Ooh. Oh, this is just gonna be the exact playthrough. Okay. Defeat her. I don't have an answer. All I know, that creature in front of me is no longer Liz. Liz wouldn't want to stay like this, and I couldn't bear to watch someone else take her down, which means I defeated her. The creature in front of me is a kaiju. There's no intelligence behind it. Okay. So that's gonna just be the sad thing. Okay. Ooh, let's see. Go to an empty classroom. I don't think I'm gonna change my common route right now, but let's see. I think this classroom will be empty. Good, just as I thought. What are your thoughts? Hey! It's Ayumu! I didn't expect to find you here. This wasn't even my goal. I was walking around because I thought this room was empty, but apparently it wasn't. I didn't think anyone would be here. There's no need to apologize. I'm not doing anything particular. I was just keeping an eye on everyone. I went over to the window Ayume was looking out of and saw that everyone comprised of only a few people outside. Does he want to be alone too? Maybe I'm overthinking this. Hang on, This is interesting. Oh, is this okay. Is this the picture I didn't get? Wait. Who likes me? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Status. Interesting. Did I break it? Are all the other options void? Does he want to be alone too? Maybe I'm overthinking this. I heard about your friend. I'm terribly sorry for your loss. His words were so sudden I didn't even know what to say. I certainly didn't expect the student council president to worry about me. He's probably worried that I'm feeling down. Despite his intention, his words dug sharply into my wounds. I was at a loss for words. Sorry, that was insensitive of me. I have someone dear to me as well. I was imagining myself in your situation and I couldn't help but say something. Are you talking about Tokyo? Ayumi has a younger sister. I didn't picture that. I assumed only like Mocha. I don't know their human names, their boy names. Tokyo is a good friend of mine, but I met my younger sister. I couldn't bear if anything happened to her. I could tell he was talking to me on a personal level, not as a student council president. That made me feel a little better. Looking back, Ayumi worked hard yesterday to evacuate the students, even though everyone was in an uproar. He probably thought it was expected of him, but I wonder if there's more to him than meets the eye. That's amazing. What? You mean me? I spoke without thinking. Ayumi looked completely surprised. I think it's amazing that you can put yourself in other people's shoes. Sounds like you're a really kind person. When he heard me say that, Ayumi's expression turned troubled. I'm not particularly kind, considering what happened. Anyone would say the same. Though he spoke hastily, his words conveyed a sense of humility and seriousness. The small, considerate gesture was like a balm to my injuries. All right, let's skip to the next thing. I'm gonna save because I don't know if I'm accidentally gonna end up in an Ayumi storyline. I think this is still like no, not load. Save. Number 55. Justice. Declare you'll lead the fight. Let's see what happens. Commander.
みんな、ごめん。
When someone is attacked by kaiju, so let's
攻める
see.
なら僕。
Cool. Okay. I just remembered it's taking me to the first part I hadn't seen. Okay. A few weeks had passed since the daytime attack. The Blooms were able to return to fighting normal on the surface at least. Of course, the sorrow I felt from losing Liz and my emotional scars have been taking a life to take her in her life hadn't yet healed. But that's why I have to keep going. I can't allow anyone else to go through the same thing. I've decided to face this with everyone. I'm going to take our missions more seriously, even more below 4. Vector went that way. Oops, I didn't finish. Roger that. I wouldn't say that my determination was achieved, some miraculous results, but I noticed our teamwork had improved recently. Take that! I'll take them up. Another down. I'm on it. I was filled with a sense that we understood each other as we fought, even though we weren't actually saying much. There's too many of them. Haruka needs help. Did I do it? I got in on the right track. Let's see. Oh no, I'm not trying to skip. I'm trying to save. Please understand me, game. Needs help. I think that would be the one you'd want to do. I'll cast Augment on you so you can take care of them in one go. Counting on you, I lightly took hold of Haruka's hand and concentrated. I imagined a ball of energy inside me flowing over to Haruka. The other members noticed what I was doing and began to retreat upon seeing that Haruka held out her hand. Burn. She whispered the words and flames sparked from her hands, boosted by Augment. The fire swallowed all the kaiju in the area, and that completed today's mission. Thanks for the help. You were a big help. Haruka usually didn't speak much, so it was a surprise to hear her give me a compliment. She had a tiny smile on her face, and I couldn't help but grin too. That was all you. I just cast Augment. But we both did well. Seeing that rare smile made me want to talk to her more, but Haruka was already returning to her usual demeanor. She ran over to where everyone was, so I quickly followed after her. Ooh. Great job. Command Center, he greeted us with usual. I didn't see Ro anywhere, which was odd. Nothing out of the ordinary had happened during the mission. We'd just followed orders and carried out per usual. It seemed to be the commander was just being polite, but it was still nice to be complimented. I wondered if that means he thinks our teamwork is good. We just did our job. It was nothing special. Ooh, I just thought about something. I have a top that might match that hair. We'll see. If I continue to try to dress like the characters. But maybe the others don't feel the same. I thought our bond was deepened as we continued to work missions together, and I hoped to better understand everyone. It's not that I wanted to make a fuss or anything, but is it so bad to be having fun that the people in town weren't hurt? I read that weird. Anyways, I hope you keep it all up. You're all dismissed. Go on home before it gets too late. One sec. I'm moving my camera. Sometimes it glitches when I do that. I hope you're keeping up. Anyways, you're all dismissed. Go home before it gets too late. The commander soon left the room, seeing that no one had much to say about his praise. We keep getting dismissed so quickly, but I'd like to talk to everyone some more. Maybe I was overly excited because Haruka had thanked me, and that was so rare, but I'd started speaking to everyone before I even realized it. Do you have a minute? I wanted to thank everybody today. Where is this coming from? Everyone turned to me in surprise when I spoke up. I'd already started to figure, so I figured I should at least finish my thought. I think I've been able to come this far because of all of you. That's why I wanted to thank you. I hadn't been able to fight very well for a while, but because you all backed me up, I think I was able to make it through. So thank you. I hope we continue like this.
まあいろいろあったよね。
Well, you had a lot
ええ、
happen.
それなのによく頑張ってると思いますわ。
Despite all that, you're doing well. I think Thena's gonna be a cute story. He seems, I don't know, a little bubbly. But later. He's later. Don't push yourself too much. You're still not 100%. They were being so kind to me, I imagine they were thinking about the issue with Liz. But they genuinely touched my heart, but I had to make it clear that I wasn't trying to get them to console me. I'll be fine. I can keep fighting. I did feel slightly worried that when I noticed Haruka hadn't replied at all. Haruka is always pretty reserved, so I guess she wouldn't say anything. And thanks to you too, Haruka. I'm going to keep doing my best. Haruka finally looked at me when I addressed her directly, but there wasn't any sympathy in her gaze, only a cold, calm
私は
expression.
任務がうまくいくように最善を尽くしているだけ。お礼を言われるようなことはしていない。
I'm only doing what's best for the mission. I did nothing to deserve your thanks. Her words were calm and collected as usual. It was completely expected she'd say that, but it still stung, even though I knew all that. If that coldness in her eyes was nearly enough to make me feel dejected, her next words did the
こ
trick.
の際だから言っておくね。君はブルームズの仲間だけど、それだけの関係。懐かれても迷惑だから。
Oh my god, Ayume! Oh, okay. While we're here, let's get one thing straight. You're a member of the Blooms, but that's it. It's annoying when you try to be friendly. Her bluntness shocked me to the point that I couldn't say anything. Then she brushed past me and walked out the command center. The brief happiness I felt during the mission had vanished completely. At that moment, I just regretted the way I'd phrased everything. Kaori broke the awkward
あのさ、
silence.
ショックかもしれないけど、はるかは前からああいう子だから気にしない方がいいよ。
I know you might be feeling shocked, but that's just how Haruka is. Don't let it bother you. Kaori attempted to cheer me up, though she didn't say anything more.
お疲れ。
Get some rest, we'll see you later. Kaori said goodbye to us, and then she also left the room. Sina and Mocha and I were left with another awkward silence lingering between us.
香りの言う通り、はるかって誰にでもあんな感じですから、あなたのことが嫌いなわけじゃないと思いますわよ。
Haruka's that way with everyone. It's not as though she dislikes you in particular.
そうそう、職人って感じ。任務が終わったらさっさと帰るとことか、無駄口いただか
Everyone's
ないとこ
being
とか。
so nice. That's so sad. Oh my goodness. She's total stubborn type. When she's done, she just takes off without chatting or
一
anything.
匹狼は違いますわね。香りとは仲がいいみたいですし。えっと。
She's kind of a lone wolf, which I suppose that's not accurate. She appears to be friendly with Kaori. What I mean is,
フォローする気あるん？傷口に塩塗り込んでんで。
are you even trying to help? That's just rubbing salt in her wounds. They must have seen how down I was. I felt guilty they were trying to make me feel better. I'm sorry for making you worry. I'll be fine, but believe me, I knew that Haruka would respond that way if I thanked everyone out of the blue like that. I tried to force a smile, but it must have looked strained because the two of them still seemed concerned.
まあその、
Oh.
何かあったら私が話を聞いてあげてもいいですわよ。
Well, if there's anything you ever want to say, I suppose I'm available.
だから元気だしや。
Same here, so turn that frown upside down. Thanks. I had the impression we'd all gotten closer, but things were pretty awkward right now, and now not just because of Haruka. It's my fault for having all these expectations. That was what occupied my thoughts as I returned to the dorm, still feeling downcast. Man. This girl's life is wild. I jumped into bed once I got to my room and felt like I never wanted to get up again. I know the Bloom members are basically my coworkers, not my friends. After losing Liz, I'd often be on my own at school. Hanging out with other people reminded me of Liz, so I kept my distance from them, which in turn made me lose a sense of belonging at school. Maybe that's why I subconsciously sought out the other members to try and find a place where I belong. A part of me must have thought they'd treat me kindly if I said what I did, but naivety was so embarrassing. What was I expecting? Did I just want everyone to be nice to me? We were risking our lives fighting, so hoping for a friendship like the one I had with Liz was unreasonable. Chatting about random things during breaks, cooking together, going into town, that wasn't the type of relationship we had. We were on the same team, that was all. Haruka was right. I thought that maybe I could shake off my depressive mood by writing an email to Uncle Yoshima. I gathered my bearings and went to my computer. It'll just make him worry if I write all this. I reread my message and thought it just made me sound pathetic. In the end, I deleted everything. Uncle Yoshima was kind to me when Liz passed away. I'd chosen to move on with my life at that time, so he'd probably worry about me if he saw I was showing signs of regret again. If only Liz could be here for me. I know I have no right to think that, but I can't help it. I was the one who struck down Liz, so I don't want to feel like I still needed something from her. And I hated how I continued to have such negative feelings. But I couldn't find a way to pull myself up. All I could do is wallow in darkness. Dang. She's having a day. The next day I went to school and simply sat in class, but I still felt tired. Check this out, it's so nice. Everyone's so energetic. There hasn't been any kaiju attacks since that day, but we still had emergency evacuation drills. Okay, is this gonna be the same? Is it gonna jump a bit? Academy seemed to recover. It's lively act. Maybe not. Maybe this is all new. I knew full well now, well, all the others who suffered a loss like me, I was trying their best to act cheerful. But no matter how much I thought about it, whenever I saw other people smile, I felt like I was being left further and further behind. We gotta head to our next class. The audiovisual room so far away, it's even further to me since I'm in the west building. Hey, we better hurry or we'll be late. This is 5 minutes late already. Whoa, you're right. Next classes are elective. I reluctantly exited the classroom. When I stepped into the hallway, I felt a comforting breeze from an open window. I might feel better if I go outside instead of staying cooped up in the classroom. Maybe I should skip the class. The next period was our last class of the day. I was getting sick of feeling so depressed and thought maybe some bold action was required. People will think I'm weird if I go back to the dorm at this hour. Where else in the school can I go at this time?
すみません。
Excuse me. As I started to walk and think about where to go, someone called out to me from behind. She was adorable. I turned around and saw a neatly dressed girl who looked about middle school age. She looks all proper, but that's not our school uniform. I think it's from the Cherrywood Academy. Is something wrong? I replied to her immediately. It was unusual for someone from another school to visit here, but more than that, her gentle demeanor intrigued me.
私、応答学園2年の間宮
Oh,
律と申します。
my name is Ritsu Mamiya. I am a second year at Cherrywood Academy.
生徒会の所用でこちらの学園の図書室を探しているのですが、場所がわからなくなってしまって、
I'm here on student council business and I'm looking for the library, but I don't know
教
where
え
it
ていた
is.
だくことはできますか？お急ぎでなければでいいのですが。
Can you help me find it? Oh, if you're not in a hurry, that is. She was probably being cautious because the other students were hustling past us. Her concentration made me like her more, and I gave her a genuine smile. I can take you to the library. I'm Takanashi. Nice to meet you.
高梨さん、
Wow,
あ
thank
り
you
が
for
と
your
うござい
help.
ます。
The way she smiled and bowed was so cute. It felt as if she had shined a light on my darkest heart. I just met someone new, so though I was feeling depressed, I was focused on helping guide her through the school. Aw. You're on the student council? You must be smart.
いえ、そういうわけでは。でも、役員になったからには、しっかり務めを果たすべきだと思っています。
Not exactly, but ever since I joined, I felt like I should take it seriously. And as we made our way to the library, we talked about how she was a second year in the middle school and how she is a member of her student council. She's being modest, but I'm sure she's smart if she's on the student council. It makes sense with how proper she seems to. Why are you going to the library? Don't you have one at Cherrywood
うち
Academy?
の学園の図書室を大幅にリニューアルすることになったんです。生徒会も蔵書の仕入れやレイアウトについて学園から意見を求められていて、
Our library is going under a remodel, and the school asked the student council for our opinion on book collections as we
3階高
do
等
the
学
layout.
園は学園エリア内で最大規模の図書室をお持ちでしょ。だから参考にさせていただくために見学に来たんです。
Oceanside Elite Academy has one of the largest libraries in the academic district. That's why I'm visiting for reference. But you came alone?
この学園は規模が大きいですから、他の役員の方は気遅れしたようなんです。
Hi! The other members were hesitant to come because this academy is so large.
私は以前にも来たことがありましたので、先に一人で見学に行きますと立候補したんです。
I feel like they would come with you. I've been here before, so I volunteered by myself. She smiled as she explained everything. She seemed so mature for a middle schooler, and I could see why her student councils trusted her to come alone. You really have it together, and you do give off the impression that you're smart.
いえ、そんな。私は他の生徒より尋ねやすいというのもあって。
Because your brother goes to school here. It's not that. There's a reason it's easier for me to come here. What do you mean? Well,
実はここには兄が通っているんです。だから大丈夫だと思っただけなんです。
my older brother attends the school. That's why I thought it'd be fine. Something about how she was shy to mention her older brother felt a bit off to me. Oh, your brother goes here. What year is he? I'm a second year. Wait, I figured out what felt off. You said your last name was Mimaya, yeah? Right?
兄は間宮
Ayumi.
です。こちらの生徒会長をしております。
Yeah, I'm off today getting ready for tomorrow. I don't want to go. I was supposed to work today, apparently. I didn't follow the schedule guide, so I'm off today and I'm playing video games getting ready for Pokemon on Friday. So that I can try and be ready to play just Pokemon. I do remember. Are you picking up Pokemon tomorrow night? He's my brother. He's the student council president here. I knew it! I haven't really talked to him before, but he's very popular. I get how your younger sister would be put together.
お兄様のこと、そんな風に言ってもらえてとても嬉しいです。
I'm glad to hear that about my brother. This time her smile made her look more her age. She and her brother apparently appeared to be quite close from the sounds of things. Ah, I haven't missed work. I've just been there. Well, I'll be available Friday. I'll be trapped there both days. You must be close with Ayumu. I cannot say his name right. Maybe it'll be better for him to show you
それ
around.
も考えたんですけど、その兄は忙しいと思っ
I
たので。
considered that, but I thought he might be busy. She looked a bit hesitant as she answered. It was difficult for me to imagine why that may be since I didn't have any siblings, so I just looked at her face. I took her at face value for the time being. No, I won't. I have to cut. I won't be there that late. It's true, he's really busy. If that's the case, I can help you out if you'd like. You'll need to visit more, right? You can talk to me when you come again.
それは嬉しいお申し出ですけれど、
Listen,
本当にお言葉に甘えても
Ritsu,
いいんでしょうか？
let's be clear. My best friend died recently. I got all the time in the world because apparently she was the only friend I had in this world. That'd be most helpful, but wouldn't it be a bother? Her eyes lit up at my suggestion, and I smiled. Not at all. I should give you my contact info.
最初に声をかけさせていただいた時からもっとお話ししてみたいと思っていたん
Ritsu,
です。
so nice.
すごく優しそうな方だったから。
I was actually hoping to get a chance to speak more. You seem like a very kind
私の
person.
ことはぜひ名前で呼んでください。仲良くしていただけたら嬉しいです。
Feel free to call me anytime. I hope we can be friends. I took out my cell phone as she chatted away. Would you mind if I call you Rizzy?
嬉しい。相性ですね。そんな風に呼んでもらえるのって憧れでした。 私も
This kid's
お
killing
名前
me.
で呼んでもいいでしょうか？
What a fun nickname. I've always wanted someone to come up with one for me, and you don't mind if I call you by your first name, right? Not at all. Oh, and here we are at the library. Got to see the library for the first time. Okay, I got confused by the alphabet just now because it was starting with J in front of me. I hadn't chatted with another girl about my age in a while, and I wished I could have stayed longer, but we'd arrived at the library, so I couldn't hang around jabbering. I'll give you a quick tour on the inside too. It's gigantic, so it's easy to get lost in here. I appreciate that if you don't mind. I showed her around the library and then promised we'd meet up when she visited again. And then we left the room, and maybe it's the next day or earlier that day. Yeah, next day. I wonder if Rizzy arrived yet. Rizzy had contacted me, so I was hurrying down the hall to see her. We were going to meet at the library today. I thought it may be faster if I cut through the courtyard. As I headed out, two people caught my eye. It's Rizzy and Ayumu. I moved a bit closer to them and saw Ayumi was speaking intently to Rizzy. Ah, when are you coming next? You should do so when I'm free. If you had told me sooner, I would have. Maybe they hadn't talked in a while. I better not interfere. I thought it'd be better if I went to the library, so I decided to head back into the hallway, but Rizzy's eyes found mine right at that moment. What great timing! I was just about to head over to the library too. Huh? Well, now that she's called out to me, I can't exactly ignore her. Okay. Oh man, I didn't even realize when I saved here that I was on his track. Cool. Well, now that she's called out to me, I can't exactly ignore. Respond. Hey! I sensed someone shooting daggers at me. As I responded to her, I turned and found the culprit to be none other than Ayumi. What? No! I'm gonna sell all the games. Rud. Maybe I should have said something to him first. In sharp contrast to Rizzy, who was smiling brightly, Ayumi was obviously in a bad mood. Oh, you're cheating? I played through the game once without like looking up anything, and then after that, because there's multiple endings, I'll look up the other endings. However, this game's weird because I'm used to like there being answers they like and answers they don't like, and you usually have like a reaction on the screen when you get the good one. If you get all the good ones, typically you get the good ending. That is not the case in this game. It's really weird. So I have to cheat. In sharp contrast to Rizzy, who was smiling brightly, Ayumi was obviously in a bad mood. Maybe it's because I interrupted their conversation, but I didn't expect him to get so obviously angry. I thought he was more of the type to not show his emotions. Ayumi has always felt unapproachable to me for various reasons, but now he was giving off an extremely unbearable vibe. I thought it would be best to leave, but Ayumi spoke up just then. Ritsu, do you know her? Should I have dressed up as Ritsu? She showed me where the library was yesterday, and she also offered to help me from now on, so we exchanged numbers. Rizzy cheerfully explained the situation to her brother, which made him frown even more. Man, she's having a bad time. Why didn't you ask me if you needed help? I've always said I'd come to me if you ever need anything. Aww. I'll always make time for you no matter how busy my schedule is. Dang. There you go again. I've said this before, but you paid too much attention to me. Ritzy had been smiling the whole time, but she began to look irritated after Ayumu said that. I guess even someone like Rizzy can get into an argument with her brother. I thought it was admirable the way she stood up to her brother, but then things escalated from there. Oh no. We're friends now, therefore I'll be asking for her help to find my way around and chatting with her too. You're friends with her? Ayumi glared at me again, and I started to shrink back, but he then swung his gaze back to Rizzy and reluctantly agreed.
僕が反対する理由もないしね。
If that's what you want, it's fine. There's no reason for me to say no. Oh, good. I was worried he was going to tell her not to be friends with me. But my relief didn't last long. Ayumi's eyes flickered towards me again.
2年の高梨さんだよね。
Takanashi, right? A second year? That's
律
me.
がここまで言っているし、僕からも君に頼むよ。
Since
妹の面
Ritsu
倒を見
insists
て
you
やって
show
ほ
her
しい。
around, I ask you to look after her.
何かあったら僕をすぐに呼んで。律が困ったことになるなら放っておけないからね。
Be sure to contact me if anything happens. I can't just do anything if she's in trouble. He's gonna give me his contact. I understand, despite his politeness. I can tell by the look in his eyes that he's still not happy. They say eyes are the window to the souls, after all.
くれぐれも無理はしないで。
Goodness.
本当に遠慮しないで僕を。
Is she sick? Also, make sure to not push yourself. You really can rely on me
わ
more.
かりましたから早く行ってくださいな。生徒会のお仕事があるんでしょ。
She's like, get out of here. I understand, but I'm okay. You can go. Don't worry. Don't you have work to do with the student council?
ああ、まあね。でも心配くらいはさせてくれ。
Yeah, but let me worry about you a
遅い時間ま
little.
でここにいるつもりだろ。それなら寮に送るから、用事が済んだら連絡をして。
When you're done, you're planning to stay late, right? Then I'll walk you back to your dorm. Just get in touch with me when you're done.
君からも連絡をするように言ってもらえると助かるよ。
I'd appreciate if you contact me as well. He addressed the last bit to me, but he didn't sound as overbearing as before. I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. He was probably just worried about Rizzy being in an unfamiliar place, so I happily obliged. You can count on me. I'll be with her until you come pick her up. So there's nothing to worry
そう
about.
だね。そうしてもらえるかな。
I certainly hope so as well. He seemed persuaded enough by what I said, but I could tell he was still concerned. Ayumi's hesitated as if he were reluctant to
あら、お兄
leave.
様。生徒会の方々が待ってい
It's
るん
like,
じゃありません
get
か。
out of here. Come on, Ayumi. Aren't the other student council members waiting for you?
じゃあ、本当に気をつけるんだぞ。高梨さん、お願いします。
You really must be careful. Again, look after her. He impressed this upon me one last time before he finally departed. He really does care about you. I found Ayumi pretty overwhelming, so I couldn't help but let out a sigh now that he was just Rizzy and I. Oh, goodness. She also heaved a sigh before we resumed our
お兄様
conversation.
はとても心配性なんです。もう少し私のことを信用してくださってもいいのに。
My brother's always overprotective. I think he should trust me a little more. It's not that he doesn't trust you. I think he's just worried. You are siblings after all. If I was your sister, I'd probably be just as worried. I tried to console her, and Rizzy gave me a small
あ
smile.
なたの言う通りだったらいいんですけど。でもやっぱり心配しすぎな気がしているんです。
I hope it's as you say, but I still think he worries too much. Oh no, I hit the wrong button. I don't have any brothers or sisters, so I can only imagine what it would be like. Who knows how it really is. It'd be nice to have family who worried about me, though I guess it could also feel like a weight on your shoulders. I thought about how I didn't want Uncle Yoshima to worry about me, but that was a bit different. One thing was for certain, Ayumi didn't treat Ritsu like he treated everyone else. I haven't interacted with him much before, but I know he usually has a nice smile for everyone. But his expression for me earlier was different. I remembered how he was clearly irritated and even openly glared at me. Maybe he wants me to stay away from his sister, but it's not like I'm trying to do anything. Is that how all siblings act? My thoughts returned to the question of siblings again. I was just going around in circles. But I didn't consider that their relationship might be a bit special, even for siblings. Ritsu spoke up then, interrupting my thoughts.
それより私図書室の蔵書について聞きたいことがあったんです。付き合っていただけたら嬉しいんですけれど。
I wanted to ask you something about the library collection. I'd appreciate if you could let me know your thoughts. I don't know how much I'll help, but I'm happy to go with you. I gave up trying to figure out their dynamics since I had no way of really knowing. Instead, I decided to just enjoy my time with Rizzy. Aww. few days later, Rizzy and I became good friends, so we started hanging out more often, regardless of whether she needed help or not. Rizzy told me she was coming to the academy again today for her student council duties, so we promised to meet up and chat. I never thought I'd have another girlfriend I could talk with, so I was very much looking forward to our meeting. You just replaced Liz with somebody you don't even know. I'm glad I don't think of her like a replacement for Liz. You do. You do. She's an actual new friend. She's not. Unlike before, some other members of Rizzy's student council were visiting the academy too, so I had some time to kill before they were done. It's a bit early, but maybe I should go to the library. I can read a book while I wait for her. I just started off towards the library when I noticed a commotion in front of me. I made these in-home egg. I'd love for you to try them. Oh, try my cookies too. Thank you. I'm more than happy to try them. Oh, I'll bring you what I make next week. Okay, no fair. Then I'm gonna bring mine too. Dang. Ayumu was at the center of the kerfuffle. The girls made sweets in home ec and had stopped to give him some. He's so popular. The girls blocked the hallway as they gathered around Ayumu. I knew I'd feel guilty pushing them aside, so I ducked behind a pillar out of the way. I'm sure they'll be done soon, so I'll just hang out here. But still, he's completely different than he was with Rizzy. I guess it's because they're family. Maybe that's how it really is. Ayumi was perfectly pleasant when speaking with the girls, but his face was indestructible? I remember how overbearing he'd been with me. He showed me an entirely different side of himself. I wonder if that's his real personality. I must go now. All right. It was great talking to you. Good luck with all your student council work. Take care on your way home. Thanks. See you later. Ayumu started walking and the girls went off in the opposite direction. Soon he and I were the only ones left in the hallway. He doesn't seem to realize I'm here, so it'll be awkward if he finds me. Is he coming towards me? What did I do? I was about to go to Rizzy, so maybe I should just come out and say hi. I was still waffling over whether to greet him, when I noticed he had stopped in a peculiar place just a little bit away. What's he doing? Staring at the corner of the hallway? He stopped smiling, which wasn't unusual because there wasn't anyone around anymore. But it wasn't just that he had stopped smiling. It was almost as if he had a cold-hearted look about him. Is he looking at the trash can? Is he seriously going to... Mamiya glanced down at his hands once before walking towards the trash can with a purpose. What are you doing? Before I knew it, I stepped up and moved towards him. He looked incredibly surprised, which told me he didn't think anyone was watching. But his chilly expression returned immediately. I'm throwing some trash away. Those aren't the sweets the girls made you. How can you call them trash? I expected him to say something harsh, but actually hearing those cruel words made me speak with more force than intended. He didn't flinch, however, and simply looked down at me with contempt. Whether I think they're trash or not doesn't concern you. What are you doing here? Were you watching me the whole time I was talking to those girls? I was actually gonna check the flowchart. Let's see. This is just like a straight line for a while. Okay. I mean... Since you have nothing to say in your defense, I guess I was right. You were spying on me. You have no right to say anything. He was right. I had been eavesdropping and I couldn't come up with a snappy retort. I was just staying quiet, thinking he was done talking, but then Ayumi opened the trash can lid. No, you don't. Not on my watch. Dang. I don't know if I'm seeing a future with these two, but alright. My body lunged forward before I could say anything, and I grabbed Miyami's arm to stop him. What are you doing? I thought I made it clear this doesn't concern you, or did you not hear me? He shot me an icy glare and I winced, but I decided to say what was on my mind since I'd already came this far. I don't think it does concern me, but you didn't have to be so mean. You didn't have to be mean about it.
僕に意見する人間がいるとは思わなかったな。
Oh, I just realized her little ribbon on her under her blouse is the same as his tie, which I thought was really weird for him. I didn't anticipate someone marching up and trying to tell me what to
それじ
do.
ゃあ、一応君の意見を聞かせてもらおうか。聞き
So
入れるかどうか
mean.
はわからないけれどね。
Let's hear what you have to say, although I can't guarantee I'll listen. Anger bubbled up inside me because he was it was so clearly making fun of me, but I tried to quell those emotions. I might be prying, but I can't allow you to waste food that someone gave you. Those girls gave you those sweets because they wanted you to be happy. Are you just going to toss out their feelings too? I chose my words as calmly as I could, but they didn't seem to faze Ayumi
僕
at
が
all.
好きになってくれと頼んだわけじゃないよ。好意を持ったのも、プレゼントしてきたのも、彼女たちの勝手だ。
I never asked them to like me, and giving a gift as a gesture of goodwill is entirely
自己
their
満足み
choice.
たいなものだよ。笑顔でプレゼントを受け取った時点で、僕は求められた役割を果たした。
It was just out for their own self-satisfaction. The moment I accepted their gifts with a smile, my duty was
役割を
fulfilled.
果たした後で、もらったものをどうしようと、僕の勝手だろ。
After I fulfill my duty, what I do with the present is up to me. I was shocked by how coldly he described it. I didn't know what else I could say, but I still tried to convince him. Ayumu, you're so kind to Rizzy. How could you do something so cruel? Aren't you able to show others just a little bit of that same kindness? Ayumu looked at me with immense contempt. I'd never seen such a level of
何を
loathing
言うか
before.
と思えば、ずいぶんバカなことを言うね。どうしてリツと他の人間を同じように扱わなければいけないんだ？
Dang. I was curious as to what you might say, but that was pure nonsense. Why would I treat others the same way I
リ
treat
ツは
Ritsu?
僕にとって大事な妹で特別な存在だ。
Ritsu is
他の
my
人間と比べ
darling
ること
sister.
自体馬鹿げているよ。
It's asinine to compare her to other people. He honestly appeared mystified as he tore apart what I said, but then he followed up with something even more
それで
outrageous.
君はリツの何なの？
What are you doing with Ritsu? I'm her friend. Rizzy already told you that. Anger started to come through my voice, but Ayumu was just
リツの
scoffed.
言った言葉ならもちろん覚えているに決まっている。
Of course, I'm what Ritsu said.
君がリツの友達にふさわしいかどうかは僕が決めさせてもらうよ。
But I'm the one who decides if you're fit to be her friend.
そ
Excuse
して
me?
僕は君のことを認めないことにした。
You're so
今後はリツのそば
mean.
にいることを禁止する。
I find you lacking. I forbid you to see Ritsu moving forward. He declared all this as if it were a done deal. I was so taken aback that I needed to clarify what he said. What are you
君は
even
リツの
saying?
友達なんかじゃない。この僕が認めないって言っているんだよ。
You can't be Ritsu's friend. I won't allow it. Didn't you ask me to look after her the other day? I asked that to confirm what he'd said before, but Ayumu had apparently
あ
changed
の
his
時とは
mind.
状況が変わった。こうなった以上、君をリツに近づけるわけにはいかなくなったよ。
The situation has changed. I can't allow you to go anywhere near Ritsu. What's that
君
supposed to
は
mean?
今、自分が何をしているのか分かっているのかな？
Do you have any idea what you did just now? After he said that, I glanced down and realized I was still holding onto Ayumi's arm.
まったく忌々しいな。
Did he slap her? I gasped and loosened my grip as Ayumu jerked his arm
こ
away.
んなそやなことをするやつをリツの友達だなんて僕は絶対に認めない。
Oh my gosh, I will not permit Ritsu to be friends with anyone who does
君
anything
と
so
一緒にいる
vulgar.
ことで万が一あの子が君のようになったら考えただけでゾッとするよ。
By chance he begins to act like you because you spend time together, the thought alone gives me chills. It was true that grabbing his arm suddenly was rude, but I thought what he was doing was even worse. I was about to protest, but his gaze turned so sharp that I just tensed up
君に
instead.
ははっきり言わないと伝わらなそうだから言わせてもらうよ。
Seems like to be more direct or you won't understand.
律に近づくな。これはお願いじゃなくて命令だよ。
Don't
も
go
し
no
破った
Ritsu.
ら
This isn't a request, it's an order, and if you don't follow it, what happens
そ
then?
こまで言わなければわからないなら君は本当に愚かだと思うよ。
If you can't understand without being told, you really are a fool. His voice oozed with pity, and I found I was speechless again. He must have thought things were settled, seeing how I didn't say anything
いい
back.
か二度と近づくなよ。
You understand? Don't go near her again, ever. He reiterated that one more time before brusquely taking his leave. Don't go near her. I was about to meet Rizzy right now. I was completely godsmacked that he had just forbade me to. But soon the shock subsided and rage began to overtake me. Sure, the way I handled that wasn't ideal, but Ayumu's totally in the wrong here. I understood his logic, but that didn't make it right to waste food and disregard someone's thoughtfulness. I thought about how I would keep on doing things like that. As long as he keeps that smile on his face, people won't know what he's really like. That's terrible. Oh my goodness. He was pretending to be friendly, even though he should just refuse gifts if he doesn't want. It doesn't make any sense why he'd try to trick everyone. And I certainly don't need his permission to be Rizzy's friend. Rizzy should be the one to decide who her friends are. The more my anger grew, the less I cared about what our student council president thought of me. I wanted to be friends with Rizzy, not him. So there was no reason to worry about having his approval or not. I decided that as long as Rizzy wanted to be friends, I'd keep hanging out with her. And with that, I headed towards the library. Report obtained. I continued to talk to Rizzy even after Ayumu told me to stay away. At first, I suggested hanging out in places where I knew he wouldn't see him, but since he hadn't said anything more, I'd gotten a bit bolder recently. Sorry for keeping you waiting. It's all right. I just got here. Your classes went longer than usual.
と言ってもエスカレーター式で後頭部に上がるので選択コースについての説明だけなのですけれど
We had a presentation for school and career options, so since we automatically get into our high school, they only talked about electives. So you're going to go to Cherrywood for high school too?
私はこちらの学園にも興味があったのですがお兄様がダメだというので
I was interested in this school as well, but my brother said no. Maybe it's because we're co-ed. Cherrywood Academy is an all-girls school after all. I had a feeling that was the reason, just based on observing how much Ayumu doted on Rizzy. Speaking of which, have you gotten the library model figured out?
十分見学させていただきましたし生徒会内でも話し合って学園側に意見をあげました
I've gotten enough reference materials and I've talked things over with the student councils and put forth our opinion to the school. That's great, but is it okay for you to still come and see me? I mean, I'm happy about it, but what about your other friends? I imagined Rizzy was popular, but she never mentioned any other friends when we talked. That seemed strange to me, so I decided to ask her about it. Rizzy's expression turns gloomy.
お友達はいるのですけれど気軽にお話できるような方はあまりいなくて
I do have other friends, but there aren't many people I can speak with so candidly.
皆さんなぜか私に対して敬語でお話しされますし嫌われているわけではないと思うのですけれど壁を感じてしまって
Everyone's so overly polite when they talk to me. It's not that they hate me or anything, but I get the sense they're pushing me away. Have your friends met your brother, perchance? I asked because I had a bad feeling about what was going on. Rizzy immediately nodded.
もちろんお兄様がお友達ができたら必ず会わせるようにというので昔からそうしています
Of course, my brother told me to always bring my friends to meet him. I see. I knew firsthand what kind of things Ayumu would say to Rizzy's other friends. I doubt he'd tell the others to stay away like he did to me. Well, maybe he would. He probably would tell them not to be a bad influence or not to hang out with her without his permission. If that was the case, then even if they didn't end up resenting her, I'm sure they'd want to distance themselves from her brother. I had been imagining what kind of things Ayumu had probably said when Rizzy spoke. I could sense a reluctance in her voice.
生徒会の用事が終わっていることをお兄様には言っていないんです。
Oh no.
ここに来ることを禁止される気がして。
Ritsu's a liar. To be honest, I haven't told my brother that I'm done with my student council duties here. I thought he'd forbid me from coming if I did.
でもここに来られなくなったらあなたとお話できなくなってしまうでしょ。せっかくお友達になれたのにそんなの嫌です。
If I can't come here anymore, I won't be able to talk to you. We've grown much closer, so I don't want that.
黙っていてもらえないでしょうか。本当は生徒会の用事
Girl, I haven't been talking to your brother at all. So could you not say anything about this, about me being done with my work for the student council? I was overjoyed to hear she wanted to keep hanging out, so I readily agreed with her request. Let me have that. Check our flow chart. Okay, so we're on 2-1 now. We have an option of a bad ending here, and then another bad ending, and then all the endings. Okay. So 2 probably goes here. Okay. Science. I'm doing the calculations. I don't think he even likes me a little bit. He likes me 12%. I'm surprised. Ugh, I'd be sad if I couldn't see anymore. I won't say a word to Ayumu. You don't have to worry about that.
もし私の嘘がバレてしまったとしても絶対にご迷惑はおかけしないようにしますね。
I'll make sure there's no consequences if he finds
私は
out.
わがままで付き合わせていたんだってちゃんとお話ししますから。
I'll say I was selfish and forced you to go along with what I wanted. You don't have to do it. I'll fight Ayumu if it comes to that.
戦うだなんて面白いことを言いますね。
What a funny thing to say. That would be really rude to your brother. I'm sorry. I said that because I really felt antagonistic towards him, but quickly apologized because it wasn't right to say about a friend's family member. But Rizzy just smiled and went along with it.
いいえ、お兄様って頑固なところがありますもの。私も戦うくらいの覚悟でお話しします。
I get it. My brother can be so stubborn. I'll make sure I'm prepared to fight him too. Can I date Ritsu? Rizzy might see that, but little does she know the first round of fighting already happened. Hearing about her friends makes me think of what passed between Ayumu and me, but I didn't tell Ritsu about it. I wondered whether I should tell her that he'd ordered me to stay away, but I thought it would hurt her if I did, so I decided to keep quiet about it. When we're talking like this, I can tell that she really loves her brother, and it would definitely make her sad if she found out he was saying all these things to her friends behind her backs. Thinking about it made me furious at him all over again. What Ayumu's doing can't be good for Ritsu. But when Ritsu does find out, she'll be hurt. The dilemma. We continued chatting and time flew by. Eventually the school bell rang, making us realize how late it's gotten.
そろそろ帰らな。
I better get back. You're right. Is Ayumu coming to pick you up?
図書室にいると伝えてあるので、私は一旦図書室に行こうかと。
I told him I'd be in the library, so I was gonna head over there. Ooh. Another alarm rang out as Ritsu said that, but it wasn't the school bell this time. That means kaiju will appear. It was the first time they'd showed up during the day since that one fateful attack. I felt my stress increase with every second the alarm blared. We'll have to stay indoors. Going outside is dangerous. All students still on campus, please seek refuge inside immediately. I repeat, all students on campus. We had heard an announcement urging all students to shelter themselves in the building. I needed to go to the command center, but I can't leave Ritsu here. She wasn't from our school, so I'm sure she'd be even more worried if I left her on her own. As I thought about it, I remembered Ayumu. Ritsu, let's go to the library. It's pretty large, so it'll be safer there than being out in the hallway. Ayumu might already be there. You told him you'd be in the library, right?
そうですね。もしかしたら先に着いてしま
You're
った
right, he could be waiting for me. Then let's hurry. Okay. I took Ritsu's hand and we hurried over to the library. When we got to the library, we saw a few other students who looked worried, but Ayumi wasn't there. What do I do? There's a chance he's further in looking for Ritsu, but I don't have time to find him. I knew the best thing for me to do would be to go out and fight kaiju. I couldn't waste any more time. Maybe he's gone further in. I'll take a look. Ritsu's suggestion came at a perfect time, so I went along with it. Then I'll go check outside the library just in case. There's a chance he's missed you. But isn't going outside dangerous? Ritsu was clearly worried about me, so I quickly tried to reassure her fears. I won't leave the building. Besides, I'll be right back. You should stay here. I'll be worried. I'll just go with you. I thought you wanted to look for your brother here. Look, even if he hasn't came yet, you have, so stay put. I'll be fine. I'll be back in a jiff, so don't worry about me. I attempted to reassure her again. Ritsu agreed despite looking concerned. I'll stay here, but be careful. I will. I better hurry. I dashed off to the command center thinking there was a good chance I'd be the last one to arrive. Sorry, I'm late. When I arrived, I saw Kaori, Sina, Mocha, Ro, and the commander. And where is Haruka? I thought I'd be the last one, but I didn't see Haruka anywhere. She's not here yet. Haruka was usually the first to arrive for missions, so it was surprising for her to be even late. I hear footsteps. Maybe it's her. Right as Mocha said that, Haruka bursted into the room. Immediately upon entering, Haruka scanned the room as if she were looking for someone. Her eyes stopped when they fell on me. What's wrong? I felt the air grow tense as Haruka approached me in silence. I asked her what was wrong, but it was like she hadn't heard me. Where were you just now? Who were you with? Why are you asking me? I know it's late too, but answer me. She seemed so panicked. I thought I should tell her the truth. I was with my friend Rizzy. I brought her to the library and then came here. Haruka was so relieved when I said that she dropped to her knees. Dang, not subtle, Haruka. The library, I see, thank goodness. Haruka, are you alright? I crouched down to help her up, but Haruka glared sharply at me. Why is she glaring? I had no idea what's going on, but I didn't pull her hand back. Then the commander called out. Are you done now? Once you're all ready, we need to get out. Everyone's evacuated, but the kaiju have entered the residential district. We'll leave immediately. We had no time to waste. If the kaiju had already made it to the residential district, I didn't understand what was going on with Haruka, but I just tried to focus on the mission as we moved on. It's a lot of kaiju. There was no people on the streets since everyone had already been evacuated, but more than a dozen kaiju were prowling around like they owned the place. There'll be too much damage if we fight them here. Let's try and chase them to the outer wall. We'll defeat them there. Got it. We followed Kaori's directions and drove the kaiju to the outer wall. There, we worked together to coordinate our attacks. Should take this chance to get them all. We can do this. We just need to join together. I'm gonna say cast augment, because I think augment is a better choice. In that case, I'll cast augment on you all. You should be able to take them out quickly if you attack powerful boost. Let's go with that. I got Kaori's approval and everyone gathered around me. I concentrated and cast augment on each of them. That should do it. Let's blast him. Mocha took the lead and sprinted towards the enemy while the others followed, taking the offense together. Gotten just about all of them. I saw there was only a few kaiju left, so I took a slight breather. Alright, I'll get that next one. But when I took aim and stepped forward, I felt something hit me from the side. I'd been concentrating on kaiju in front of me, so getting hit unexpectedly from the side made me stumble and lose my balance. A kaiju! I quickly tried to regain my composure and looked to see what hit me, but all I saw was Haruka. Haruka?
次、前から来る。
Snap out of it once coming from the front. I looked ahead and saw the kaiju I'd been aiming at earlier barreling towards me. Sorry, I apologized to Haruka since she had warned me, but the whole situation felt off. I think Haruka's psychokinesis had hit me earlier. Does that mean I was accidentally in Haruka's range? But were there even any kaiju there? It was all terribly confusing and I wanted to figure it out, but I realized I should first to do something about the kaiju. I'm sorry, are we saying Haruka attacked you? Are we saying that our Ayuma attacked you? I dodged as the kaiju swung at me, then moved into close range so I could strike its torso. I boosted my punch with psychokinesis, causing the kaiju to stagger. One more strike and it's done. I moved in to attack it again before the kaiju could right itself, but I was hit by a sudden impact from behind. The impact wasn't that powerful, so I wasn't really hurt, but it didn't. The impact wasn't very powerful, so I wasn't really hurt, but it did make me pinch forward. Haruka. Haruka spat out those words as she passed by. I lay on the ground, unable to get up. She easily finished off the kaiju I'd been fighting. Haruka? Was I in the way of your attack or something? You could have just told me. I would have moved. I tried to be diplomatic, but Haruka wasn't having any of it. If you need everything explained to me, then you're just incompetent. Excuse me? There was no way around it. Haruka's attacked me both times on purpose. You're done with your targets? The commander just contacted and said that there aren't any more kaiju in the colonies, so we can head back. And let's go. Haruka was about to just go and leave me here, so I tried to call out to her. Haruka, wait. But she completely ignored me and continued walking. What happened? Kaori noted that Haruka wasn't acting like she usually did, but I couldn't explain it myself. I don't know what's going on. I have to talk to Haruka about it. Dun 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 dun. The commander and Ro left right after our post-mission meeting ended, and the rest of us started packing up our things to head home. I decided now was the time to ask Haruka about earlier, so I rushed over to talk with her before she could leave. What you did earlier was on purpose, wasn't it? Why would you do that? I blocked Haruka's path and confronted her with hostile tones entering my voice. That was enough to get her to finally look at me. But I didn't understand her response. I told you to stay away. What do you mean by that? I'd heard those words recently. In fact, I remember the incident so clearly I couldn't forget. Ayuma had said them. I stayed silent, unable to figure out why Haruka would say that to me. She continued. You're with Ritsu Mamiya before the mission, right? What about it? How does Haruka know about Ritsu? Is it because I mentioned her earlier? Because I called her Rizzy then. Does that mean Haruka knows her? But Ritsu said I was the only one who calls her Rizzy. There was only one other person who would know about her nickname, but when I tried to find a connection between that person and what just happened, it seemed so unbelievable. My thoughts grounded to a halt. But though I was confused, I remembered how Haruka had said, I told you to stay away. With that icy glare, that expression was too much like his. Could I really be? What's going on? You two in a fight? Well, you mentioned you two weren't speaking during the mission either, were you? Mocha and Sina came over to us when they saw how tense things were. But right when I turned my attention to them, Haruka left the room. I just had to know if my theory was true. I rushed out after Haruka. Sorry, I'll talk to you later. I chased after Haruka, but found I couldn't catch up to her. If it's what I suspected, she's hurrying because she's worried about Rizzy. I bolted up the stairs to the prep room while undoing my transformation. I went through the chem lab and into the hallway, and I finally saw who I was looking for. Ayuma, please wait. He glanced over at me, but quickly turned away and continued running down the hall. I had no intention of letting my question go unanswered, so I ran up and grabbed his arm. Please just hold on. He couldn't ignore me now that I had a grip on his arm. Ayuma finally turned around to look at me. I'm trying to find Ritsu. I'm in a hurry. He was obviously irritated with me, but I also could hear the worry in his voice. I loosened my grip to get him to calm down before I continued. Rizzy's in the library. I asked her to wait for me there, and she's not the type to break a promise,
当然
right?
だ。律は約束を破ったりしない。それに、無茶
Naturally.
をするような子じゃない。
She would never do anything like that, and she wouldn't do anything reckless either.
自分の目であの子の無事を確かめないと、完全に安心することはできないよ。
I won't be relieved till I can see her with my own eyes. I know, but please just give me a few minutes. I have to ask you
聞き
something.
たいこと？
What would that be? He was beginning to calm down, so I decided just to go for it and ask the question, Are you Haruka? I still had my doubts, but Ayumi nodded at once.
そうだ。
That's right. So you really are her. I didn't think it possible, but he admitted it so freely I felt I had to believe him. But how? You're a guy. You turned into a
超
girl?
能力を使う副作用だ。
It's a side effect of my
そ
power.
れ以外に理由はないだろう。趣味でやっているとでも思ったのか？
What other reason could there be? Do you think I'm doing it because I
話
want
がそれ
to?
だけなら手を離してくれ。もういい
And
だ
now
ろ
if that's all, let go of my arm. Are you done yet? Ayumi didn't wait for me to answer and attempted to shake me off. Listen, my dude, you're not doing that. We're still in 2-1. Dang, we're early in this. Okay. No, let him go. Making him angrier would just complicate things, so I decided to let go of Mamiya's arm.
いや、本当に君は立ちが悪いな。
Finally, let go, I see. You sure are a piece of work, or perhaps you think I'm incapable of speech. Unless you latch onto me. He spat out the words with obvious anger and started to turn his back on me. I rushed to try and get a word in. I stopped you because you were leaving without listening, and there's more I need to ask
僕
you.
が遥かだというのはトップシークレットだ。それに答えたのは、君との会話を早く切り上げて、律のところに行くためだよ。
My identity is top secret. I only told you so I could get to Ritsu. And yet you still have more questions?
いい加減にしてくれ。
I've had enough of this. His anger was utterly bewildering, but I also felt my patience wearing thin. Still, I tried my best to remain calm. I wouldn't be long if you actually answer me, that is.
話っていうのは？
So what are you trying to talk about? Yumi's faced me again, and I tried to ask him as calmly as possible about what happened. During the mission, you attacked me on purpose.
おう、わざと当てた。
His braceness frustrated me even more, and I found I had a difficult staying calm. But if I get emotional, he'll end up getting the better of me. I have to stay calm. Why did you attack me? I thought we were on the same side. I regained my equanimity and managed to speak again, but Ayumi's response handedly destroyed any shred of patience I had
君が
left.
約束を破ったから、どうなるか分かっているだろうと言ったはずだよ。
Because you broke your promise. I told you something would happen if you did. Promise? You mean that whole thing about me not going near Rizzy? You attacked me during a mission because of that? That's horrible. I was just being friends with your sister, but you attacked your own teammate. You're seriously the
最低
worst.
なのは僕じゃなくて、約束を守らなかった君の方だ。
You're the worst for not keeping your promise. You brought this on yourself.
仲間って。簡単に言うのはやめてくれるかな。
And while we're at it, stop calling us teammates. If you want to pal around with someone, look elsewhere. Pal around? Are we finished? His arrogance seeped through every word as he spoke. He turned his back to me and began walking away, and I quickly ran after him. I never agreed to your order in the first place, and only Rizzy and I can choose who our friends are. It's not your place to decide for us. Don't speak for Rizzy. What do you even know about her? I've protected her entire life. I always have. And always will. It's my duty. Goodness. And how does keeping me away protect her? That doesn't make any sense. You are a vulgar person. You would absolutely be a negative influence. Did you just call me vulgar? That was the second time he had said that. I couldn't stop my anger from showing now. Who's the vulgar one here? It's much worse to deliberately attack your own teammate. We'd both gotten so heated that we didn't hear footsteps coming towards us. Ayumu, what are you doing? Ayuma and I froze in place. Then we turned to see Tokyo standing next to us. I didn't see you there. I didn't notice him at all. How much did he hear? He'd think something weird was going on if he heard I was attacked, right? My face grew pale, but Ayumu recovered with surprising speed. You have good timing. I was about to meet Ritsu. It's been a while. You should come along. Sure, but you two were fighting, weren't you? It wasn't a fight. She was just nitpicking for no reason. Best to ignore her. There was no way I could let that slide. I felt my anger reaching up again. I wasn't nitpicking. I was making a formal complaint. Or do you not know the difference between the two? No. What? I felt proud as if I'd won the argument, but then Ayumi spoke in the angriest tone I'd ever heard from him. You seem determined to make an enemy of me, so what if I am? Very well then. Isn't this interesting? Tokyo's unexpected seemed to tape on Ayumu's anger. Interesting. I take offense to that. It is interesting. I rarely see you riled up, Ayumu. I love it. Of course I'm riled up. She clearly has no interest in listening to a word I say. She always has some smart retort. It's natural at responding kind. I've never dealt with someone so vexatious and exhausting. Ayumu's voice was tinged with bitterness. Actually, wait, I need to... That's too much. I can't. Ayumu's voice was so tinged with bitterness while Tokyo continued to grin as he turned his attention to me. You know, you're amazing in a way. Oh, you think? I didn't quite know how to respond, so I just made some half-hearted remark, but it was clear that Ayumu had also had the wind knocked out of his sails. The next time he spoke, he seemed calmer. I'm going to see Ritsu. You may say she's safe, but I can't be sure until I meet up with her. With that unilateral declaration, he started walking away. Tokyo followed after him, and since I'd promised to meet with Rizzy, so did I. Ayumu glanced over at me, but he must have truly been tired because he didn't try to stop me. Oh. Ritsu, I'm glad you're all right. Ayumu found Ritsu once we entered the library and rushed over to her. Ugh, this is starting to hurt my eyes. I was trying to make it brighter in here. Ayumu, oh Tokyo, you came. Thank you for finding them. I just happened to run into Tokyo along the way. I couldn't tell her what really happened, so I just kept things vague without flat out lying. But before Ritsu could ask for more details, Ayumu cut into the conversation. It was a coincidence. When she came to find me, Tokyo happened to be around. She told me you're waiting in the library. I'm glad we didn't miss each other. I peeked into the library at first, but I didn't see you, so I went to look elsewhere. He hadn't told her about the blues. Dun, dun, dun. Those were the rules, after all. I was certain he didn't want Rizzy's questioning why I was with him any further. Now I also knew why Haruka had been late today. I bet he really did look for her somewhere else. That's why Haruka was in such a rush. I thought you'd be in the library the whole time. What about your work for the student council? Ayumi reprimanded her slightly when she said that, and Rizzy just shrugged awkwardly. I wanted to see more of the school. I'm sorry. She answered ambiguously. It didn't seem like Rizzy was going to tell her brother everything either. She looked over at me and meaningfully, as if trying to make some sort of signal. I think she's trying to tell me to play along, but she probably isn't used to lying. As expected, Rizzy's strange behavior prompted Ayumu to look at me suspiciously. Is that true? Yeah, totally. Ritsu asked you to show her around, did she? He's not buying it at all. I also wasn't used to lying and wasn't particularly good at it, so I couldn't come up with an explanation when Ayumu suddenly interrogated me. Rizzy may be off the hook, but I get the feeling he's got some choice words for me. I braced myself for one of his biting insults, but for some reason, Ayumu just smiled pleasantly. Seems my sister's actions caused you trouble. Allow me to apologize, huh? His attitude was so different from when we were fighting earlier. I couldn't help but let out a surprised exclamation. She really looked out for me. When the alarms went off, she immediately took me to the library. Rizzy didn't know about our fight from earlier, so she was probably relieved to see Ayumu smile. She was trying to give me a compliment, but I sensed there was some ulterior motive hidden in Ayumu's sudden smile, so I wasn't happy about it. Chills run down my spine. Seems to think that Ritsu was able to get to safety without injury. Thanks for staying by her side. It was nothing. I responded with caution. Then Ayumu said something strange, the smile still plastered on his face. We appreciate all your help, Gyugyo and us, and we'll be fine from now on. Didn't you tell me you're going to be very busy moving forward? I beg your pardon? I never said such a thing. I immediately recognized that he was telling me to stay away from Ritsu again. I started to protest, but Ayumu smiled at me in such a way that stopped me from saying anything. I get the feeling he wants me to shut up. It's probably be bad to argue with him in front of Rizzy, so I couldn't object to what he said. Then Rizzy spoke up, saying, "Tell her we said." I thought we finally became friends. So we really made up how disappointing is going to get her at this rate, and it really would be sad if I couldn't see her anymore. I won't be that busy, so I'll just get in touch when I'm free. I took a gamble saying that, as I expected Ayumu to shoot daggers at me. Really? I can meet up whenever I hear from you. Rizzy sounded so happy that Ayumu couldn't object. Yeah, I'll definitely contact you when I think I'll be able to hang out. No need to force yourself. I'm not forcing anything. Really? That's right. Though we managed to keep smiling, our quiet battle had resumed. Rizzy didn't seem to notice anything was amiss, but Tokyo sure did. Things are getting interesting. He mumbled that under his breath, but I can hear you, Tokyo, and this isn't interesting at all. I clenched my fist and swore to myself that I wouldn't back down from this fight. Nice. Gonna email Uncle. Started email to Uncle Yoshima after I returned to my dorm. I was really fired up from the argument with Ayumu. I didn't want him to worry about me, but after writing the message, it seemed I did nothing but rant and list why I should keep arguing with him. I should write about how I'm not going to give up, or some kind of plan to make things go my way that would be more constructive. The block of text I'd written on the spur of the moment felt messy, but I thought it would give a better sense of my state of mind, so I sent it. The next morning, I checked my messages and read through the replies Uncle Yoshima had sent. I'm glad you're doing fine. I'm also glad you're mad, though I know you might be even angry hearing that. The other day, you didn't seem to have the wherewithal to feel angry, so I'm happy that you seem to have some extra energy now. It's great you made a new tomodachi. Of course, I hope this works out for her. But I also think you can get along with your student's body president, despite how awful he may seem. There aren't many people whom you can show your emotions to like that. There's no way we can be true. I was glad Uncle Yoshima enjoyed my update, but I couldn't agree with the last sentence. Ayumu and I never get along, not in a million trillion years. I didn't even want us to be on the same vicinity if I could help it. I resolved to avoid him as much as possible as I headed out to the academy. Yawning. Oh no. Looks like I took a wrong turn. After, as if life were laughing in my face, of my determination, I immediately stumbled upon Ayumu right after our lunch break started. That said, this is a hallway in front of the student council room, so of course there was a high chance he'd be here. Why didn't I think of that before coming this way? Ayumu, do you have a moment? What can I do for you? At least people are talking to him right now. I'll just slip by and pretend I don't see him. I'm off. I'll see you later. Tokyo had been hanging out with him, but he left and Ayumu and the girls started to walk off, and right then they passed by me. At the very unfortunate luck of hearing what they were talking about at the exact moment. I made you a lunch. I really hope you like it. I'll gladly take it. Oh good, I'm so relieved. I'm glad you made it for me. She made him lunch. I had a bad feeling about this. Is he going to throw it away again? I remembered what happened before with the sweets and felt I just had to do something. Hey, Ayumu. He looked bewildered because I was acting like we were friends, but I paid him no mind. We need to talk. It's about Rizzy. Ritsu. I knew he'd be interested if I brought up Rizzy. Oh well. Then I'll just let you two walk. I'll see you later. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I apologized to the girl as she walked away and did it again in my mind for good measure. Then I heard a frosty voice coming from behind me. You sought me out on purpose. This better be important. If you want to talk, we can talk in the student council room. Already feeling belligerent, I see. But what kind of scene is he imagining? I don't think we can avoid another argument. I was the one who approached him, but I started to regret that decision as I entered the student council room. What do you want to talk about? He clearly wanted to get this over with, so I decided to be as direct as possible. What are you going to do with that lunch? You're very impudent, aren't you? Do you think we're friends or something? I've never thought that, but I also don't think you deserve any respect. Really? Then I won't hold back either. I didn't think he'd been holding back at all, but I just tried to move the conversation along without making things worse than they already were. I'll ask you again, what are you going to do with that lunch? Let's take him to Tokyo. What of it? If you're gonna try to grab my arm again, I might actually throw you off this time. I wouldn't do that. I don't want to ask. Why don't you eat it yourself? It'll hurt that person more if you accept something like that and act all happy about it and no intention of actually eating it. She must have worked so hard to make it, but you were being fake with her and aren't going to really eat it. I feel sorry for her. And what would you have me do? Let's say she finds out about my little lie and ends up hating me. It's still none of your business. You despise me, don't you? All the more reason for this not to concern you. Ayumu had a point. What I was doing didn't benefit me at all. I was just being nosy. I know that, but I can't just ignore it and let it go. I recognized the contradiction, but there wasn't anything I could do about my feelings, so I kept quiet. Ayumu sighed as if he were giving in. I'm under no obligation to explain myself to you, but I'm going to because it'll cause trouble if you keep stalking me like this. I smile at everyone and act the way I do to prevent unnecessary friction with others. You don't want trouble. Correct. I just want my life at school to be peaceful. I can achieve that by pretending to be this great honor student.
人に嫌われるようなことはしない方がいい。笑顔を見せるのはそのための有効な手段だよ。
It's manipulative, and for that to stay that way, it is best for if no one hates me. Always smiling and being acclamable is one way to get that.
人当たりが柔らかい人間を嫌うやつは
Everyone loves a friendly person. If you don't want people to hate you, then you should actually eat the food they give you. I said that what was on my mind, but Ayumi shut it down
そ
immediately.
れは無理だね。よく知らない他人が作ったものを食べる気にはなれないから。
Not possible. I have no intention of eating anything made by someone I don't know. Then just tell them you can't take it. Like I said, if they found out, they'd definitely resent you more. That would certainly disrupt that peaceful life you want,
その
right?
時はその時だね。バレて嫌われるなら仕方がないと諦めるよ。
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I'll simply give up if they find out and hate me. Despite his claims that he didn't want people to hate him, he wanted a peaceful life. It didn't seem like Ayumi cared about his situation much. He probably not doing it for himself. I think I know the real answer. Are you pretending to be like those for
へえ、
Ritsu?
よくわかったね。
You're much sharper
も
than
ち
I
ろん
thought.
それしかない。リツから見て理想の兄でいることはとても大事だからね。
It's important that Ritsu sees me as an
だか
ideal
らたと
brother.
え誰かに嫌われる事態になっても最悪リツにさえ隠し通せればそれでいいんだ。
Doesn't matter if somebody hates me, I just have to hide it
リ
from
ツから
Ritsu.
見た時に完璧な兄に見えればそれで
As
問
long
題
as she
ない。
sees me as the perfect brother, there's no
リツに
issue.
は綺麗なものに囲まれて過ごしてほしいんだ。完璧な兄や優しい友達、
I
不
want
自由のな
Ritsu.
い環境をあの子に与えたいと思っている。
I want Ritsu to only have nice things. I want her to have the perfect brother. I want her to have the perfect brother and kind friends. I want her to live without
それに
hardship.
僕が完璧に立ち振る舞うことで
Being perfect will help me
Ritsu.
protect Ritsu. I sense he had another motive beyond simply protecting his sister, but I couldn't imagine what that could
話
be.
はこれで終わりってことでいいかな。
That's all there to say. Ayumi began to head to the door, so I rushed to stop him. What are you going to do with that
そ
lunch?
こまで言うなら君が食べればいい。
You're so worried you can eat it. I'd made a big deal about it earlier, so I couldn't be careless with it now. I have no choice
食べ
but
終
to
わったら
accept it.
感想でも聞かせてくれ。
Once you finish it, let me know
揉
what
め
you
ないに
think.
越したことはないから感想を教えてくれればあの子に言うことにするよ。
I like to avoid any trouble, so if you tell me, I can tell her now.
別に言いたくないならそれでも構わないけれど。
I don't care. Just do what you want. You're being really irresponsible, you know that? I tried to give him back the lunch while Yumi just exited the room. I guess I have to eat this now. I left the student council room while trying to figure out how I could avoid the girl who made the lunch. Of all days to have a mission. Later that night, I rushed over to the command center after being summoned. I found I couldn't stop looking at Haruka during our briefing. Even though I know Ayumu is Haruka, it's difficult to see them in the same person. Haruka, on the other hand, either didn't notice me staring or didn't care. She looked cool as a cucumber the
上
entire
層
time.
部からの連絡によると商業エリア付近と学園エリア付近で害獣の侵入が確認されたそうだから
According to the higher ups, kaiju were spotted near the
Shikata
financial district and the academic district. You'll need to split up into two teams.
チーム分けだけど君ははるかと組みたそうだね。じゃあそこの2人とあとの3人でチームにしよ
As for assigning teams, you seem keen to join with Haruka. You two will be one team, and the other three will be the other. Huh? Clearly, the commander had misunderstood why I'd been staring at Haruka. Haruka was clearly annoyed, but she didn't seem to want to go against orders, so she immediately left the room. I have to hurry and catch up. I had zero motivation to carry out a mission alone with Haruka, but it was sort of my fault we had been paired up, so I followed after her in haste. Bum bum. Haruka and I were assigned to the academic district, and we went out near the outer wall. I see him. We had spotted the kaiju moving in and moved into attack. There were too many for just two of us. He doesn't. Oh my gosh. Please. He doesn't like me. So I'm gonna just go by myself because he's mean. If we're going after the same kaiju, it'll take too much time. I should attack different ones for... I felt awkward about the whole situation, so I decided to go for a different kaiju than Haruka. Do we die? Ooh, no, there's no death. There's no, right? There's no... Not on that one that has a bad ending, right? No. Status doesn't like me very much. Alright, the battle continued for a while after that. Our teamwork's not good at all, probably because we've been fighting a lot. We were stepping on each other's lines of fire and hindering one another's movement constantly. You're really dragging me down. Can't you take this seriously? What about you? You're missing all your shots. I'm missing, am I? You mean like this? Is he gonna hit you? My gosh. Attacking me intentionally is a terrible thing to do. But if that's not how you're going to play it, then take that. How dare you? We'd escalated from arguing to attacking each other, though not at full power. We still continued to attack the kaiju between throwing jabs at one another. Did you just hit me for real? If it was for real, I would have blown your head off. You must be weak if that's all it takes to hurt you. Now see here. Are you two... So you two are actually enemies then? Right, I was about to shoot off a retort at Ayumi. Relaxed voice cut through the tension. It's Moravia! At the appearance of such a formidable foe, I readied myself for an attack. However, Moravia seemed unconcerned. Don't mind me, please continue. I'll just be here. You're watching? What are you talking about? Haruka also readied herself and moved in for attack, ignoring what Moravia said. Moravia remained calm and dodged the sudden attack easily. Then she jumped on top of the nearby tree. So you're not enemies? Of course not. Our enemy is you and the kaiju. I joined Haruka in attacking, but Moravia was already prepared to retreat. It looks like most of them were defeated. Things aren't looking so hot, so I believe that's my cue to leave. Moravia turned and to leave, and I moved to pursue her, but Haruka stopped me. There's only two of us, we can't be reckless. We should finish off the kaiju. We returned our attention back to the other kaiju and resumed the mission without attacking each other. Nice work, looks like you had a tough time on your end as well. Moravia got away. Did you say as well? What did he do with Hyuga? He also got away. They both retreated quickly, but we'll have to be more wary of them from now on. My mouse fell asleep. I just woke up. Quiet! We do not see Haruka quite. We did not see Yukonami, but he could have been close by. You're right. We're in an emergency situation now. Isn't the time to be fighting with Haruka during the missions. Looking back, our actions had been completely childish. I should have stopped fighting with Haruka, Ayumu, and just talked with him about this. I don't know if you should. He's a jerk. He's a jerk. Jerks are jerky jerks. I have a footrest that I am opening right now. Alright. The next day after school, I waited outside the student council room for Ayumu. There was a chance our student council members could come along, but I thought it was best to wait here if I wanted to catch Ayumu. There he is. As pleasant as ever. His irritation was palpable, but because other students were around, he fixed a placid expression on his face. Come in. Ayuma ushered me into the student council room, and I saw that there was no one else inside. We're having a meeting soon. Make it quick. I didn't plan to stick around as long as we could work things out. I immediately withdrew something from my bag here.
お弁当
That's
昨
the
日
bento box from yesterday. You remembered it was delicious.
感想を言えと言ったのを真に受けてきたなら君は案外素直なんだな
You took me telling you to tell you your thoughts seriously so you can be agreeable. I'm always honest. Anyways, that's what I
そ
thought.
れもそうだ
Alright, it looks like a smile was playing on Yumi's lips, so I thought we might be able to talk about things. I watched the lunchbox. Be sure to return it to the girl who gave it to
わ
you.
ざわざどう思う
I will,
それ
thank
じゃ
you.
あの子がまだ校内にいるかもしれないから今のうちに返してくるよ急げば生徒会のミーティングにも間に合うしね
She still might be here, so I'll try to give it back now. If I hurry, I'll still make it in time for the
君
student
の要
council
件は
meeting.
これで終わりだろ
What's that all? Just about. I still have something else to say. You can hate me all you want, but don't do this to the other girls. If you don't want the lunch, it would have been much better for you just to
君に
refuse.
説教される筋合いはない
Why do you care so much? Ayumi seemed more exasperated than angry. I knew I was prying, but I couldn't stop now. It's because I want us to find a compromise. Ayumu, you're Haruka. I don't want to keep headbutting with you, but I don't understand how you can be such an awful thing. I don't think we can reach a compromise as long as I don't understand.
別に君から歩み寄ってもらう必要なんて
I
ない
don't
それ
need
な
us
ら
to
僕のこと
compromise.
を
There's
理
no
解す
need
る
for
必
you
要
to
もないだろ
understand
う
me. If I
任務の
want
ために和解したいだけだと言うなら君が律に近づかなければいい
you want to bury the hatchet for the sake of our mission, stay away from
そう
Ritsu.
してくれれば僕も君に攻撃したり
If you do,
嫌
I'll
味を
stop
言って
attacking and insulting you. I can't do that. I want to be friends with Rizzy.
君は本当にずうずうしいな
You're so audacious. Now he looked angry. Ayumi backed me up against the door.
自分の意見は曲げないくせに人に自分の要求だけを飲ませられると思うなよ
You refuse to budge, yet you expect others to acquiesce to your demands. I love it. It's the classic.
君が意見を変えないなら話はこれで終わりだ
If you're not going to change your mind, then we're done here. He was definitely being harsh, but I could see he wasn't entirely wrong. I probably should If you're going to be insistent, then I'll try not to be near Rizzy. Just don't make her
いつ
sad,
が
okay?
悲しむどうしてそういう話になるんだ
She's
いつ
sad. What do
の
you mean
名
by
前を
that?
出せば僕が言うことを聞くとでも思っているのか
Do you think I'll listen to you just because you bring up Ritsu? It's not what I meant. You said you don't care if others hate you, and you seem to think you could hide that from Rizzy. But it'll come out eventually. I wouldn't be so careless.
そんなヘマはしない君が律に告げ口すると言うなら別だけれどね
Though it would be a different story if you told her. I would never do anything that would purposely hurt her. But she pays attention to, you know, she'd be able to tell if you saw how you interacted with other people's. And of course, she'd be sad if she found out she loves you. I came here today for two reasons. One was to try to find a compromise with you. The other was to try and get you to be nicer to others for Rizzy's sake. That's all I wanted to say. I like Rizzy a lot, you see. I'd said everything I had to say. It was up to Ayumu now. I believed he understood so long as he truly cared about Rizzy more than
わかった
himself. Fine. After a long silence, Ayumi sighed and finally agreed, which gave me
君の
some
言う通
relief.
りかもしれない
You might be right.
確かに律は賢い子だから僕の取り繕った姿にもいつか
She's
気がつく
intelligent.
時が来るだろ
She'll eventually notice him
う
putting
そ
on
の
a
時律
facade.
が悲しむかはわからないけれど少しでもその可能性があるならそれは僕の本意ではないからね
I don't know if that'd make her sad, but as long as there's a chance it would, I don't plan on letting it happen. So you'll be nicer to everyone? You'll refuse any gifts you don't want?
前処してみるよ
I'll try. Great. Then I'll hold up my end of the bargain too. I'll stay away from Rizzy. So I'd really made that promise to myself. It was painful to say it out loud, but I figured this would be worth it if it solved our
どう
issues.
してそこまで律のことを考えてくれるんだ
Why are you
親し
so
くなった
concerned
の
about Ritsu anyways?
ここ
You've only
最近だろ？
just became friends. He was apparently curious as to why I cared about Rizzy so much. I was all alone when my friend died. Every single day I felt painful. And then I met Rizzy. It made me so happy when she said she wanted to be my friends with me. That's why I care about her.
親友。そうか。
Your friend, I see. It looked like Ayumi realized something once I had explained the situation. I wasn't trying to get any sympathy from him. I only spoke the truth. Anyways, I'm glad you understand. Don't worry. I'll tell Rizzy I can't see her anymore. I headed towards the door before I could second guess my decision. Then Ayumi tentatively spoken up.
リツと会っても。
It's fine. You can see Ritsu if you want.
そうだね。確かに君の言うことも一理ある。
Do you have a
言
point?
った通り、リツは賢い子だ。だったら、僕と君の間にあった出来事も、
As we established, Ritsu's smart,
れない。
so she could eventually figure out what's happened
それな
between
ら
us.
君と会うことを禁じるのは良くないような気がしてきたよ。
Oof. I have a feeling it would be a bad idea to forbade you from seeing each other. Ah, my bangs. I need to cut them. They're getting too long.
君がここまで
If you
リツ
care
の
about
ことを思
Ritsu
って
that
いるなら、
much,
きっと
I'm sure she feels the same about you. I feel like he was showing me some consideration by saying that, but Ritsu's feelings were the most important thing for him. He prioritized her above all else. Ayumu, you really do love
大
Rizzy,
切
huh?
に決まっているあの子がいなければ
Of course, without her, I'd have no reason to live. It felt like he was saying that more to himself than to me. Why did you say that? The seriousness of his tone worried me, but Ayumu quickly resumed his calm
なんで
exterior.
もない。それよりもういいだろう。いい加減誰か来る。
Now we're really done. Someone could come in any time. He said that while opening the door, and then he practically pushed me out of the door. What did he mean? I was alone in the hallway, but I couldn't bring myself to leave just yet. He looked so grave at the end of our conversation. I'd never seen him with an expression like that before. It made me all the more worried. Did I not? How did I miss the without her I have no reason to live? You probably wouldn't like if I pried. I imagined to strike a compromise with Ayumu, but now I was concerned about him, and I had the feeling I'd end up worrying a whole lot more. One night, the commander summoned us to the command center and gave us
外
unusual
周が出た
orders.
わけじゃないんですの？
There's no kaiju?
上層部から命令が来てね。最近害獣の動きが活発になってきているから、シータの外で様子を探ってきてほしいんだ。
This order's coming from the higher ups. They want you to go outside Theta and investigate since we've seen more kaiju activity
調子
recently.
のええ連中やな。セナの余地を信じへんで怪獣の襲撃を許したくせに今さらそんなこと言うんや。
They sure fooled themselves, aren't they? They didn't believe Sina's foresight and let the kaiju attack an Elvis. Seriously, I wish they would have been more proactive about this. The commander looked dispirited when he started
そう言
complaining.
われてしまうと耳が痛いね。ただ、あれがきっかけになって対応が変わったとも言えるんだよ。
It makes me feel terribly guilty to hear you say that. However, what happened did cause them to change their way of doing things.
わかってる。私たちだってあの時のことを無駄にはしない。みん
We
な
all
も
need
そ
to
の
learn
つ
from
もりだよね。
experience. I assume we agree on that. Of course, we won't let any more innocent people get hurt. But why? That's why we're doing this investigation, right? When I asked what the purpose for this investigation, the commander was visibly
その
relieved.
通りだよ。害獣にあったらもちろん倒してもらいたいけれど、シータの外にいる害獣には未知なところもある。
You should take down any kaiju you encounter, but we still don't know a lot about the kaiju outside of Theta.
中に侵入してくる奴らよりも凶暴なものがいるかもしれないし、そのあたりは見極めて無理はしないで。
I imagine the ones that don't try to come into the colony could be more vicious, so you should exercise caution and not push yourselves too hard.
了解。でも
Understood.
シータの外って随分広いと思うんだけど、調査範囲はどのくらい？
Outside Theta is enormous. Where exactly are we investigating? Upon hearing Haruka's question, the commander showed us a map of Theta and pointed to one
シー
specific
タの外
area.
周部分だけで構わないそうだ。具体的にはこのあたりまで。
They only want you to check the perimeters and to be exact just up to this point.
外周だけと言
The
っても
perimeter itself is quite a
随分あ
large
りますよ
area.
ね
I doubt we can finish it in a single night.
だからまずは可能な範囲でかな。とりあえず手分けして調査することにして。
Orders go as far as for now. We'll split into groups like last
うまく連
time.
携できてたみたいだし、組み合わせは前と同じにしよう。
I know this teamwork's getting better. Let's keep the same team as before. I wasn't the only one who reacted to the particular statement. Better?
何を見てたの
Have you even been paying attention? Haruka and I expressed our doubts at what the commander said. But then I remembered Ayumu's expression at the end of our conversation and thought this would be a good opportunity for us to work together. Alright, Haruka, let's go.
ちょっと
We're off. I grabbed Haruka's hand despite her confusion and took us outside.
どういうつもり
What a beautiful flowchart. There's a chance of a cutscene. Oh, this has a bad ending. Alright, so we gotta get the bad ending. What's the big idea? Once we'd gotten outside Theta, Haruka stopped and turned to me with a bewildered expression on her face. They told us to team up, so we're here.
そうじゃなくて君は僕と組むのが嫌じゃないの
It's not what I meant. I thought you didn't want to be paired with me. She started speaking more like Ayuma once I found out she really was. And it was much easier to talk with her this way. It's the bokuwa, that's for boys, instead of watashi wa. And it's not that at all. I always wanted to talk with you more.
この間そんな風に感じるような雰囲気じゃなかったと思うんだけどどう
What
いう風
happened
の
the
吹
other
き回し
day didn't exactly give me that impression. What's gotten into you? To be honest, there are a lot of things I don't know about you,
だっ
Ayumu.
たら
So, but that's all the more reason I want to get to know and understand you. We've already gotten to know each other some, and I'd like to be friends with both Haruka and Ayumu. Talking this through with Haruka helped me understand my own
こっち
motivations.
こそ君のことが理解できないんだけどこの間まであんなに喧嘩してたのに
I really don't understand you. We fought the other day.
嫌っててもいいって言わなかった
Didn't you say you don't care if I hated you? Yeah, that's true, but I'm worried about you. You looked so serious when you were talking about Rizzy earlier. Azuka neither agreed nor denied what I said. I decided to suggest something. Would it make you feel better to talk about whatever's on your mind? I'm happy to listen.
余計なお世話だよそれに話したいことがあればちゃんと友達に聞いてもらう
It's none of your business. If I need to talk, I'll just talk to my friends. She rejected my idea immediately, but I was more concerned about something else. Your friends?
時
You
を
mean
幼馴染なんだ
Tokyo? I've known him since I was a child. Haruka's expression grew softer when she mentioned Tokyo, so I took the opportunity to ask her something I normally wouldn't. I've been wondering, are the other Blooms members boys too?
この流れでそんなことを聞いてくるなら答えるけど君の予想通りだから
If you figured that out, then if
香
you
り
know
が
that
時雄だよ
Coyote is Tokyo, I knew it. I had my suspicion, but hearing Haruka confirm it was all the more shocking. So Sina and Moka too? Naturally, I was curious about the other two, but Haruka shook her head.
時雄は本人がいいって言ったから教えたけれど他の二人は僕の口から言うわけにはいかない
Tokyo said it was okay if you knew about him, but it's not my place to tell you the other two.
これ以上は機密事項だから教えないよそれにいい加減調査を始めよ
Confidential. We should start our investigation. Let's go. The investigation would never end if we kept chatting after all. I made sure to remain alert as I walked with Haruka. We scanned the area for traces of the kaiju in silence, but I kept thinking about our earlier discussion. I guess I'm not someone that Haruka, or rather Ayumu, would want to talk to. Nothing I can do about that. Like she said, we were fighting just a while ago, so she wouldn't talk to me about her problems. I shook my head in an attempt to clear my mind, but at that moment I caught sight of something out the corner of my eye. Look, Haruka had apparently noticed the same thing, and she pointed towards where I was looking. Kaijus and Hyuga. I tensed up. We hadn't anticipated running into them. Hyuga was traveling with a horde of kaiju, and it was obvious they were about to attack Theta. It seemed Hyuga caught sight of us as well. He slowly started walking towards us. His hands hung by his side, but I could see One was clasped on a gun.
害獣の数が多すぎる。あっちは戦うつもりみたいだし、引くのは無理か。
There's too many kaiju, and they're clearly looking for a fight, so retreat's out of the question. Let's contact Kaori and the others. Being outnumbered was a major disadvantage, but we couldn't avoid a fight, so I rushed to call for backup. Kaori, Huga's here. And he brought a ton of kaiju.
ごめん、こっちも交戦中。できるだけ早く片付けるから、なんとか持ちこたえて。
We also have a battle over here. We'll finish off as soon as we can hold out. Kaori's voice was tight, so it was obvious that her group had encountered the enemy too and wasn't in a good
仕
situation.
方ないね。二人でなんとかしよ
We have no choice but to handle this alone. Right, we can do this. We just decided to fight on our own when another voice called out and caused our spirits to sink even
う。
lower.
なんだ、たった二人
It's just the
遊び
two
が
of
い
you.
がないな。
That's no fun at all. You can me. There was no longer a matter of simply being at a disadvantage. At this rate, we'd have difficult trying to get away.
う。こうなったら、最初から全力で行くしかないね。君は援護して。
We're going to have to go up from the start. Back me up. That means she's planning to use flame dust. Understanding exactly what she's intending to do, Okay, let's get the bad ending first. I attack him. In that case, I'll fend off Yuka.
君一人で
It's
あの二
reckless
人
of
を
you to
相手
try
に
and
する
fight those two at once. Haruka attempted to stop my rash decision, but I still thought it was the best plan I had. I can handle it. I'm not going to take the offense. I'll just pull them away from the group. That'll make it easy to catch the best.
そ
The
ういうこ
kaiju.
となら、急いで片付ける。
I
少しだけ
see.
持ち
Then
こ
I'll
たえて。
make sure to take them down swiftly. Just hold on. Got it. I'm gonna do the bad ending, take a break and eat something, and then I'll continue the story afterward. We put our plan into action, but the situation still wasn't looking good.
どこ狙ってや
Where
が
are
る。
you even aiming? Gah.
よそ見してると危ないんじゃない。ほら、
I
僕
would
はこ
assume
っちだ
that
よ。
Ibuki would still not want them to kill me. Just saying. You better stay focused or it'll be bad news for you. Oh, look, I'm over here now. I tried to draw Hyuga and Yukonami's attention so Haruka could find an opening and attack, but Yukonami was too fast and I lost sight of him. Hyuga went after me while Yukonami chased after Haruka. We got caught in the cycle again and again. Even so, the numbers of kaiju is dwindling in battle. It's a battle dwindling. It's a battle of attributions at this rate. We were interrupted every time we tried to make a wide-range attack, so that forced us to focus on defense. The battle dragged on like this. We'd gotten worn down for sure if things continued as they were.
拉致が開かない。もう少し力を出さないと。
It's like this fight won't end. I need to use a bit more of my power. Haruka gasped for breath as she evaded one of the Yukonami's attacks and moved to stand next to me again. What are you trying to
この辺りを
do?
燃やし尽くす。あいつら全部まとめて倒すよ。
I'm going to incinerate the whole area. All of them. The enemy would have been weary of Haruka's flame dust, so they spread themselves out to avoid all of them getting hit at once. If that's the goal, was to strike every kaiju, then Haruka would have to unleash an attack with an especially wide radius. But you've never targeted such a large area before. Are you sure you can do it?
できなくてもやる。
I don't have a choice. Grew in a deep breath and tried to focus, but I could see that her legs were shaking. She used too much of her powers. I have to do something. Oh. I thought the last option was going to give me a bad ending. I guess I'll go back to it. Leave it to me. I couldn't let her go push herself any further, so I stepped in front of her.
何言ってるの？
What are you saying? Your
君の
psychokinesis
最
isn't
後
enough to
弁
defeat
護し
them.
て。
Just back me up. This is the best way to handle them. Haruka is probably right. I'm worried about her, but I'm not powerful enough. I have to admit it. But this is the only way. I'll cast Augment then. Haruka's determination motivated me. I gently touched her arm and concentrated. You got it? I think I can do this.
もしかして動けなくなっちゃったの？なら僕がとどめよう。
I can't move anymore, then how about we just finish you off?
Yukinomi, hike! Rei no honou ga kuru zo!
Move, we got fire incoming. You can notice what was happening and shouted right as Haruka held out her hand.
What?
Burn! Whoa! Gah! Managed to jump behind a building to cover right after the flames reached them. The blaze rushed forth, swallowing every last kaiju in the area. Haruka, you did it! But as the flames continued to spread, we realized they would soon engulf us too. I called out to Haruka and saw how desperate she looked. Haruka, we'll be caught in this.
わかってる。でも制御が効かない。
But I can't control it.
力の加減もできないのか。これ以上の長居は無用だ。行くぞ、Yukinomi.
Can't keep your powers in control. We have no reason to hang around here. Let's beat it.
僕がとどめを刺したか
But I wanted to finish
なら
them.
ほっといても自滅する。無駄な労力を使うなと、モラビアも言ってただろ。
They're doing that all themselves. Moravia told us not to waste our strength.
はいはい、わかりました。
Fine. After that, Hyuga and Yukonami leapt onto a tall building and vanished. I was loath to admit it, but Hyuga was right. The fire would take us if we stayed here. I was thankful they had gone so I could focus on getting us out of this predicament. Yeah. Haruka, snap out of it. Haruka was sitting on the ground in pain, so I helped her up. Her brow was coated in sweat, and then just because of the heat from the fire, I could see she was desperately trying to control her powers. Can you stand? We have to get out of here. I used too much of my powers during the battle and could feel fatigue setting
ここに
in.
置いていって一人で
Get out of here. I can't do that. If I leave you, you'll burn to death. I objected to her ridiculous idea. Haruka then grabbed onto my
それで
arm.
もいい。その代わり
I don't care about that. In exchange,
僕が死んだら
if I die, give my body to my parents. Even if I burn, my
焼け
DNA
死
can
んだとしても
still be extracted from my
骨が
bones.
DNA さえあればそれで取引
Then the
できる
deal
はず
will
だか
be
ら
fulfilled. Wait, am I not getting the bad ending? I was trying to get a bad ending. Do I need to literally... Flowchart. I could still have a bad ending. It's not there yet. I only understood about half of what she was saying. What are you talking about? What
取引
deal?
しないと律を守れない。僕がブルームズにいる限りは両親は律には手を出さないけど死んだら
I have to fulfill my deal or I can't protect Ritsu. My parents won't touch her as long as I'm in the blooms, but if I
今度は
die,
最悪
even if I do,
死
they
んだ
would
としても
be satisfied so long as my body can be used for research. So Haruka's eyes were unfocused and she didn't seem to understand her own words. This is bad. If she loses consciousness, she really will die. I can't let that happen. I could find out what Haruka was talking about after we got her out of her life. I could feel that I was on the brink of passing out, so I slapped Haruka's cheeks. Don't say that. We gotta get out of here.
僕が死んでも
But even if I die, Haruka, you don't say you're going to die like it's nothing. Haruka still looked reluctant, so I slapped her cheek a little harder. The pain must have snapped her out of it, seeing that life returned to her eyes. I gathered up what was left of my strength. I'm going to help us get out of here. Haruka leaned on me and we stood up as I used the last bit of my psychokinesis to jump as high as I could. If we can just get a little bit further, we landed on top of a tall building and moved far enough away from the flames before heading back down to the ground. Luckily, we weren't that far from entering the colony, so we managed to make it back. I didn't get my bad ending. Okay, we're gonna reload. I was just trying to get the bad ending and take a break. All right, let's see. Let's go back to this one. Let's run. Let's get out of here. Haruka would surely collapse if we continued fighting.
逃げ切れるわけない
We
よ
can't escape. There we go. Ugh. What
君たちの
dum-dums.
相手はこっちだから
Prepare yourself. Haruka stepped in front of me to act as a shield, but there were too many kaiju and Hyuga and Yukonami. She wouldn't be able to do it alone. She already at her limit. I ran in order to protect Haruka, but my actions had just backed us further into a corner. Haruka, I'm sorry.
謝らなくていい。こうなったのは。
No need to
僕の力不
apologize.
足
This happened because I wasn't strong enough. Haruka said that so only I could hear. Then she held her hand out in front of her.
僕からも謝るよ。今からあいつらを攻撃するけど。
I'm gonna attack them, but this is likely gonna be my final one. For both you and me. I closed my eyes and nodded, showing that I understood what she meant. I couldn't run with how injured my legs were. Once Haruka used up her energy, we wouldn't be able to flee. Though I couldn't stand, I tried to give Haruka a little more power by grasping her leg and unleashing an augment.
来ないならこっちから行くぞ。
If you're not gonna come towards us, we're gonna get
も
you.
う動けないんでしょ
Guess you can't move anymore. Once she saw Hyuga and Yukonami start towards us, Haruka whispered,
陣営。
Flame dust. Gah,
ヒャガくっせ
that's
これ
hot.
やばいよ
Not good. I heard Yuga and Yukonami for a brief moment, but their voices were drowned out by the flames. The largest blaze I'd ever seen rushed forth, swallowing everything in the path. Eventually, the fire spread towards us. It all happened so fast. Our lives were ending with such swiftness that none of it felt real. Suddenly, Haruka landed on top of it with a thud. Haruka! Oh no. I'm sorry, Ritsu. Ayumu. That's right. Rizzy will all be by herself now. Regret crashed over me, but it was difficult to breathe and I couldn't move. All I could do was apologize. The flames flickered as they drew closer, and for a moment I thought they looked beautiful. I closed my eyes and allowed them to engulf me completely. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Alright.
どこに
Alright. So I'm gonna take a break and then I'm gonna eat something and then we'll continue, and this time we won't get the bad ending. We might get a bad ending. We'll not get that bad ending. Right, this one. Yeah, we'll go back, get the gooder ending, and then continue, hopefully. Well, there is another bad ending. We could have another bad ending, but we'll finish it after I eat. Okay, bye for now.